Hi Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your January 2021 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new readings, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading and this meditation, just a reminder not to engage with anybody in the comment box pretending to be me, soliciting you for readings, saying, they would love to give you a reading, just contact them. That is not me. I am actually closed to private readings at this time, so do not engage. It is a scammer. All right, with that said, now let's clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as you enter into this safe and loving space. All right. So let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Sagittarius be affected by the January 2021 full moon? How will Sagittarius be affected by the January 2021 full moon? How will Sagittarius be affected by the January 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Oh, goodness. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. Excuse me. Sorry, I was trying not to cough. Okay. Now let's see what your chakra energy is for this time. This is going to be the place during this moon where we feel a little bit of blockages, where we can feel a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit, more sensitive around. So how will Sagittarius be affected by the January 2021 full moon? How will Sagittarius be affected by the January 2021 full moon? How will Sagittarius be affected by the January 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Fantastic. Okay, so we start here with inner strength. It can feel very hard to kind of claim your power, know your strength, know what it is that you desire, know where it is that you're moving forward. This is the solar plexus chakra, so you can also really feel things in your gut. You might find that this is a time where you kind of sort of eliminate certain foods from your diet that are upsetting your stomach, that are kind of holding you back, not giving you the energy that you need. This is a time for a cleanse. This is a time for kind of, I more see it as a food elimination diet. It's kind of like, well, I don't feel good after, or what did I eat the last day, or what did I drink the last day, the day before, to make me feel like this. And this is going to be something that really sort of clears this fog that is around you at times. And this is also a sense of embracing your inner strength, your inner power, your inner voice. There is something here where you always feel like, oh, but if I say that, I'll be rude, or if I say that, it won't go well. And this is a time where you're sitting there and you're kind of like, well, why wouldn't I embrace my truth? Why shouldn't I? And that's going to be a very powerful part for you during this time. It's like, why shouldn't I be who I was born to be? And this then leads you to family, which is the root chakra. The root of who we are comes from nature and it comes from nurture, right? So if you were raised by your biological parents, this is that family unit. This is also the family that raised you, that helped you, the family that you choose. This is the energy that surrounds you. And at your root during this time, now it's not surprising to me because we have Mercury retrograde on the 30th of January. We have the full moon in Leo on the 28th. This is a very intense time. Leo wants what it wants when it wants it. And that's an energy that everybody is feeling. So everybody is saying, I'm astoundingly important. Listen to me, or I want to be listened to. I need to be listened to. And this is a time here where we're looking at the people that we love the most. And we could be sitting there and feel rather ignored by them. But there's also going to be a feeling from them that we're ignoring who they are. So during this time, there's this interesting kind of balancing act that needs to go on to say, what is it that needs to be done so that everybody feels heard, everybody feels seen, or what is it that I need to do individually? That's more it. What is it that I need to do individually that makes me feel heard, seen, and understood? Now, the left-hand side here is your inner self. The middle is your heart, your emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So we have the Queen of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. We have the 10 of Wands. We have the Star card, which is Aquarius energy, coming through loud and clear. So you're going to be very affected by the new moon in Aquarius on the 11th of February. And then you have the 9 of Swords. We have the Emperor, which is Aries energy, which is a time frame of March 21st to April 19th. The Aquarius time frame is from January 20th to February 18th. We have the 7 of Wands, the World, the Queen of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, connecting you very strongly with the full moon in Virgo on the 27th, on the 27th of February. Then we have the 5 of Wands crowning the public arena, the Knight of Cups, the 8 of Cups, and the Sun, which is a fantastic thing to root you in the public arena. Now, this can be that people take you by eyes during this time. They see you as being blessed. You see yourself as wanting to kind of calm everybody's problems, bring balance, peace, and harmony to everyone and everything. And you're going to kind of bite off more than you can chew during this moon, because it's going to be so important for you, for things to be fair, for things to be right, for you to, move forward kind of drama-free. But the drama that this moon brings is really, really, really quite intense. So the full moon in Leo, it has us, surrendering to the divine right here. And it has us embracing our own power, our own understanding, our own desires. But during this moon, we also have this deep connection to the goddess Bridget. Now, whether the goddess Bridget is a religious figure for you, or whether it is just a kind of mythological figure that helps you embrace or visualize the energy that is around you, it does hold importance during this time. So Bridget is the goddess of poetry, healing, and smithwork. And there's something here. And the smithwork did not come up big before, but there is something here recently with the smithworking where it's like the welling together of ideas, the fine kind of fiddly work that has to be done to kind of get things just to be just right. And that's going to be very important to you. So you can, during this time, kind of get caught up in the details, get caught up in fine, I see it more as fiddly work, like just fine work that really takes a lot of, takes up a lot of time. And you can find yourself, it's like getting caught up in the details. That's what it is. But once you kind of move past the details of everything, sitting there and saying, okay, what is the broader picture? Because Sagittarius, you're much better and you're much more suited towards looking at the broader picture of things. You can then step back and see the divine power because you surrender to the divine. See the divine power that is moving you forward, that is helping you express what it is that you want, that is letting you look at things more personally, more powerfully, more intuitively. And it gives you the power of self, the power of what you desire. And it also opens you to the fact that this is also the Rowan moon. So in the Farmer's Almanac, this is the wolf moon, but this is also the Rowan moon. And the Rowan moon brings with it protection and strength. Rowan is one of the sacred Celtic woods, most definitely. It also brings successes in new ventures. But with the full moon in Leo, we don't really want to embrace new ventures. What we want to do, because Leo is a fixed sign, we want to kind of stick with what we know. It's kind of like, I know this, I got this. And I just need everybody to see what I'm seeing. I just need everybody to agree with me. And again, that's everybody who feels this way. Everybody's sitting there and say, well, if you could just see it my way, things would be a whole lot better. Things would be a whole lot easier. So here, it's kind of like not feeling ignored when other people are involved and wrapped up in their own selves, their own beings, their own desires. And this is not falling into the trap of it's my way or the highway, which is what this full moon really brings to us. And it says here, don't let pride get in the way. Don't let the ego take over. It's so easy in our world. It's so easy in ourselves to let the ego take over and say, with even things that we don't want, it's like, oh, but I could have it and that other person wants it. But I can have it. So it must be better. Like I have to prove that I can have this when other people want it. Even when you get it home and you're looking at it, or when, you're looking at these things and you're thinking, I didn't want it. Like I didn't need it. I don't know why I had to obtain it. But that's going to be the full moon in Leo, where the ego comes in and it says, you know what? We have to let everybody show and everybody see. We have to show everybody that we are the center of this story. We are the main character in this film. And during this time, if you can step back and let your heart guide you, because Leo is also ruled by the heart. So if you let your heart guide you, you're going to find that you don't make the rash decisions that you really want to make. You're really going to have to reel yourself in, Sagittarius. Really embrace the temperance that you are born under, because your card is temperance in the major arcana. Really embrace that temperance, that balance, that understanding, that wisdom that is so atypically you, that is so beautifully you, to be able to move you forward, to be able to really give you that roar, because this is a time where you will find that everybody's just yelling louder and louder. Everybody wants to be heard first. Everybody wants to go first. And if you step back and say, you know what, fine, you move forward the way that you need to. I'm going to step back. I'm going to look at what I desire. It's not letting people walk all over you, but it's saying what I need, what I want. That's what's going to guide me. And during this time, that's what's going to be what sets you free. Because Leo is ruled by the sun, and the moon reflects the sun's light. So here we're having the reflection in the nighttime of what we wanted to get done, what we wanted to happen during the day. And with Mercury retrograde on the 30th of January, there's this sense of our subconscious coming forward. So if we don't let our subconscious come forward and we don't listen to it in the night, if we don't listen to it even during the day, but the day gets too hectic, if we don't have that calm, restful time, you will find that you feel like you're a hamster on a wheel. You'll feel like you're never going to get there. You're never going to be able to embrace what it is that you truly desire. And as you move forward with this moon, it's kind of like this is a time where you can be totally overwhelmed, where you can overreach, you'll overextend yourself, you'll sit there and say, I can do everything, and then burn out, kind of just want to sit on the couch watching TV, not thinking. And what this moon is telling you to do, and where this moon excels, is in creativity, is in spontaneity, is in kind of a romantic nature, kind of letting things be a little bit fun, a little bit flirty within your life, and just enjoying joy. And it's going to seem so counterintuitive to let that power guide you, let that power move forward with you. But it's going to be so powerful for you. It moves you then to the new moon on the 11th of February, which says here a new start is coming. And it brings with it new beginnings. And on the 17th of February, the new moon in Aquarius says, bring love into the situation. And that's where we need to focus with the full moon in in Leo to bring love into the situation, to move us forward in the way that our hearts desire, in the way that our soul needs, in the way that we embrace joy. So you have here in your inner self this strong connection to Aquarius. And as you're moving forward towards what it is that you want, this sense of letting your soul guide you, letting your deeper wishes guide you, bringing love and harmony and caring and compassion to situations where everybody is like a lion roaring. Everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to be king of the castle type of thing. You're going to find that calms you, but also kind of makes things go more your way. It can be like your secret weapon, but it's also going to let you not. So in the public arena, there's a sense here of being very easily drawn into everybody else's traumas and dramas, and also your own traumas and dramas. But if you bring love into the situation, if you pour those waters forward, it's like, I'm not walking down that path. I can easily get angry and get overwhelmed, and you might have a good, kind of, freak out with friends or with family, and you might be venting, need time, and you definitely will need time to vent the frustrations that you have. But to live there, that's going to be highly detrimental. So with the new moon in Aquarius, to bring love into the situation, to have yourself walking through that portal from chaos to harmony, have yourself, sitting there and just letting silence be your friend, is going to be one of the most exquisite ways that you can embrace that new moon. And then on the 27th of February, we have the full moon in Virgo, and it says, you are good enough. And you are. You are good enough. You are powerful enough. And if you are like me, when I first started using this deck, this got me really mad. And I like to say it because, you could be hearing I'm good enough and get annoyed. I got really quite annoyed, and I stopped listening. And I stopped listening to spirit. I stopped listening to what the cards had to say. I was like, how dare you? There is so much that I want to achieve, so much that has just collapsed around me. Why are you patronizing me? Why are you being a jerk? Cards, why are you doing this? And it's because if you are always living in the future, if you are always living in the past, you will never be enough for either of them, because both do not exist. But to be good enough right now, to sit there and know that you're a child of the universe, that stardust runs through your veins, that the God's head is hidden within you, that there's power, that there's brilliance, that there's beauty to you, that you are not a mistake, no matter what anybody says. And believe me, you have people in your life, or have had people in your life, that tried to make you think that you just couldn't do it. You were never going to be good enough. You were never going to be smart enough, pretty enough, anything enough, successful enough to have meaning to your life. And that's something here that you need to put the brakes on, because you've been carrying that around way too long. And to sit there and say, I'm good enough, that's awesome. And if you've always had this confidence, if you've always sat there and said, well, I can do anything and I will do anything and I'm conquering the world, there's also fears here that subconsciously you need to embrace so that you can conquer the world. You can have that confidence move you forward and not have doubt become this little piece that keeps you almost there, always hustling, always working really, really hard for that, but never quite getting to the place that inside that you should be. So the full moon in Virgo is a very introspective time. It is a very contemplative time. It's a very beautiful time. And it's a time to step back. And it's a time that feels almost the complete opposite from Leo, because Leo is charging forward. I'm going to get this done. I have 18 million different things to do. Keep up, keep up, keep up. And burning the candle at both ends. And by the time you get to this moon, you need this sense of, why is it that I'm trying to do things that I don't like? Why is it that I'm letting people that I would never talk to in life affect me? Why is this? And so you step back and you say, okay, you know what? There is new truth here. There is new power here. I'm embracing this way forward, and nothing and no one will stop me. And it brings you to your spirit animals who are looking over you in January. And I know we're only in January for a very short period of time, but the owl spirit and the bear spirit have your back, have this protection over you. And the owl spirit brings clarity. So it says here, you see clearly now. And the bear spirit brings with it this sense of, again, stepping back. That's going to be so important. It says, take time out. Take time out to see what you've planted over your heart. Take time out to ground yourself and focus in your strength. You might think, I don't have any strength. But there is there is strength to you, Sagittarius. Even if you've doubted that, even if somebody has eroded that strength, made you feel self-conscious, overwhelmed, made you doubt that you could do it, here, you're looking at the seeds that you've planted over your heart and saying, now it's my time. You're challenging your confidence. You're channeling your confidence, and you're pushing the envelope. And this is a symbol of healing through solitude, meditation, and rest. And what's going to be so beautiful is, like, as you're resting, the owl spirit says it's time to face the shadows. And I love that, because as the rest comes in, it's like, look at the shadows. Look at what tumbles through your mind when the world is quiet, and say, where is the wisdom in the silence? What is the beauty that I'm moving forward in? Do I always need noise around me? Or can I listen to my own mind, my own thoughts, my own self? It's time to hold on to your truth. And it's time to look beyond the veil. Beyond the veil within yourself, like what you're comfortable showing people, and then to, like, the nitty gritty of who you are and who it is that you want to be. It's also time to look beyond the veil, and you see quite clearly beyond the veil of others. And this is a time where you're not going to fall for their lies. You're not going to sit there and say, oh, well, that person obviously is better than me. Or this is also a time, okay? And that's what Spirit is saying right now. Spirit is giving me the imagery of, like, revelations coming your way. And it's like, oh, well, that person wasn't as liked as much as I thought they were. That person wasn't seen as being so much better than me. Because you're going to, like, sit there and have this understanding come to you of how you've seen things wrongly in the past. And it's seeing beyond the veil. It's kind of like your mind will just go to a situation where you felt kind of worthless or overwhelmed or, whatever. And you're going to see that what you were seeing in the time is not necessarily the truth behind it. And I don't know why that is, okay? But I do know it is going to be quite freeing, because it's kind of like you thought that the battle was here, and then as you're looking back on things, and it's not living in the past, it's just like all of a sudden this thought comes into your head. And I remember, or something happens, and you're going to be like, oh, well, they don't think they're as wonderful as I thought you thought they were. It was like one time I was working at this place, and I thought this one person they just absolutely adored. And one day she came in, and she couldn't open the door, and I had to go open the door for her. And my boss was like, oh my gosh, just go. I can't even deal with her right now. And I thought, oh, I was like, oh, that was so eye-opening. And then it had me looking back at things and being like, oh, oh, okay, I see that. And it just changed my perspective, and it changed the confidence that I had in me. Because I realized that I was seeing things wrong. I was very used to seeing things as feeling less than everybody else. And so I just would perpetuate that. And then it took years later to be able to sit there and be like, okay, you shouldn't do that anymore. But to be able to even become conscious of it at that point, that was a big thing. And then the otter spirit for February, as the spirit animal of February, says, you are never alone. You have your angels, you have your spirit guides with you. You have one otter here, one otter here. And there's a sense here of never being alone, of always having this support group around you. And it's kind of like your spiritual family. Your root chakra here is that connection to that spiritual family. And the otter spirit says, go with the flow. Stop swimming against the current. Let things happen. Let divinity guide you, and as you let divinity guide you, it's time to embrace joy. It's time to embrace laughter. It's time to connect with that unity. And you're all about unity, Sagittarius. You're all about discovering the bigger truth that brings unity, prosperity, and abundance into your existence and into yourself. So as you embrace the unity of February, and you're going to see it very empowered by these moons, and you have yourself affected by the Virgo full moon very much within your heart, and by the new moon very much within your inner self. It changes the way you start to look at things. It kind of like, all of a sudden, instead of having an all like white puzzle in front of you, where you're sitting there and you're just trying to put the pieces together and it's so frustrating, or an all blue puzzle or whatever, you're going to find that all of a sudden there's now a picture. There's a reason. There's a pattern. There's more sense coming forward than what you had thought before. And it's like, oh, I'm not walking blind anymore. I have insight, because you're connecting with your spiritual family and your root chakra. Yes, it is the family that you have and that you've created for yourself, but it's also remembering that you have a spiritual family. And that spiritual family wants to be a part of your life, wants you to move forward more in the embrace and the understanding and the compassion of your spiritual self than in anything else. And it moves you here to the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. It is also the sense of this power, this truth, this heart, this soul coming forward in your life. It is a sense of saying, this is my life. I have to rule it. I bless myself. I anoint myself with the beauty of my dreams, with the power of my soul, with the desire of what I want from my existence. The cups I'm really seeing as the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups. It's kind of like it's time to look at your heart. And if you take one thing away from this reading, and one thing only, Sagittarius, it is time to look at your heart. Because you've been putting, excuse me, oh goodness, that was odd. You've been putting burden after burden on top of your shoulders. You've been sitting there and saying, well, I'll just do it. It just needs to be done. I'll just do it. I'll just, do this. I'll just push this harder. I'll just, get this done. And it sounds like a really great idea. When you're doing it, it's like, yep, I know everything. I can do everything. I have to get it done yesterday kind of feel is what you're going to have. And also I can straighten out everything for everybody, and I can make everything work, and I'll do everything with a smile on my face, and it'll all be great. You will crack. During this time, you will start to see that you crack, because people will be demanding more and more from you. And because you want to keep the peace, because you want to keep, the passion of everything, in harmony, and of everyone, you want to keep them inspired, you want to keep them learning, moving forward, you're going to find that you put more and more on your shoulders, and people are going to let you. There's also a sense here of needing to step back, especially for some of you, and this is rather heavy, for some of you Sagittarians. It's stepping back from that energy that makes you doubt everything about you. Now, it can be somebody from your past, most definitely, who planted these seeds of doubts within your head. It could be a parent as you were growing up, told you you were worthless, you were never going to be anything. It could be an ex that you were just absolutely in love with. You just adored something about them. And they started off, they really adored you. They really made you feel special and, cared for and cherished and beautiful and just wonderful. But they slowly started to change, and they slowly started to erode everything about you and take it all away. And so you just thought, if I could put more on my shoulders, if I can just be the person that they want me to be, it will be okay. It will never be enough. You will never get there. And now you could have walked away from this person, most definitely, but the scars still remain. And they have a power in your head that they should not have. Because here's the thing, with people like that, they don't have power in their own heads. They can't live their own lives, not to the great extent that they think they should be able to. So they have to control everybody else's. And you can sit there and say, well, that person was very powerful, very successful. There's still a huge sense of lack or of anger or of fear within them. And it's not excusing them. It's just sitting there and starting to chip away at who they were. It's starting to see their flaws. And even though you could sit there and say, well, I see their flaws, it's a hard thing to sit there and say that this voice that has been in your head for so long, okay, or this power that has had such control over you was flawed and wasn't worthy of that power. And that's where you start to really look at what you love, what you want, what you desire. This could also be addictions, things that you thought, oh, Dane, I'm never going to stop. I can't. I've tried for years and years and years, decades and decades and decades. It's taking away my life, but it also is my life. And this is going to be a time where you're claiming back your power, where you're looking at things and you can be roaring, okay, and raging against what is taking you from being center stage of your existence, what is taking you from being that main loving character within your story, and saying, I have the right to hold this role, to hold this truth. And as you're breaking free, you start to see the star coming. You start to see the highest form of man's perfection, which is the stars. When our ancestors looked up at the stars at night, they saw truth, they saw beauty, they saw diamonds in the sky that they could never reach. And here, this is everything that you thought was out of your reach. You thought, oh, well, it'll just never be. And now you're starting to see, yes, it will. There's power, there's beauty, there is determination here. It will be. And you're going to start to see that divinity is looking within your soul, within yourself, within what it is that you want from life. Not the cross your fingers, oh, I want a new whatever. It's what your soul is longing for, the stability, the security, the essence of you. You could have thought, like I did for quite some time, it's like, oh, I'm just different than everybody else. I'll never quite fit in. And then you start to see your path might not be the same as everybody else. So it might be harder for people to understand. It doesn't mean that you should walk away. And what you're going to have here is if you listen to your spiritual family, if you listen to your angels, if you listen to your spirit guides, if you go to sleep at night and say, spirit guides, please guide me. You can give your spirit guide a name. My spirit guide is named Amani. If you say, please guide me as I'm sleeping, then you can wake up. When you wake up the next day, you're going to find, like, you go to sleep to kind of that chant, make it your mantra as you go to sleep. And then you wake up the next day with these ideas in your head, with revelations, with maybe just a calmer spirit, with, as you're showering or as you're, brushing your teeth, this truth coming forward. And it's going to be part of your star. It's going to be the highest part of your perfection coming forward into your life. And it leads you to looking at the nightmares and saying, you don't get to hold me anymore. You don't get to define me anymore. I can't be this, and I won't be this. And so with the Nine of Swords, it's looking at our greatest fears, and you're rooted in healing. You're rooted in your greatest fears, and you're crowned in healing from them. And so what's happening during this time, it's like, what am I if not afraid? Like, what am I if I take away all the responsibilities, all the burdens that are burying me? And it's not sitting there and saying, I won't take care of my responsibilities. I'm a firm believer in responsibilities. Taking care of people who need us, taking care of situations that need us. It's very important in a human being's life. But being smothered and sitting there and thinking, I can't take time for myself. I can't, be who I need to be because I need to be everything for everybody else. That makes us broken. That makes us start to shatter because we're pouring out all our soul's energy instead of drinking from the cup. And it's drinking of the cup of healing. And this is a time where we need to drink of that cup of healing because the doubts, the fears, the negativity, the anger, the upset, the serpent-like fear. Because, there is this sense of, like, I always have to be on my guard. I'm never going to know when it strikes. That's one of the reasons, the theories behind why people say, why scientists say, we are such good sight hunters. We have such good vision. Now, if you're like me and wear glasses, you might be like, oh, well, not me. But we needed to see the snake in the grass. We needed to see the poisonous thing coming for us that is very hard to see. And so with the Nine of Swords, it's living in that constant fear that our nightmares will come true. And what it is here is to sit there and realize that if you have that fear of what I least want to happen is going to come forward, then you start thinking about it. And it's going to be a time because the energy around you, the energy around the mind, the energy around the determination is so potent that whatever you think about starts to manifest. Whether it be good or whether it be bad, you start to call it forward. And you could be saying, Dean, but I don't want this. I've never wanted it. But if you're thinking about it, that fear calls forward what you do not want to have. And it can be, and I've seen this I see this in myself a lot. What I fear, divinity makes me live. In a very small way, sometimes gratefully, and sometimes in a larger way. But with facing that fear, I'm like, oh, I can still be standing. I can still be moving forward. And that's some of the things that you're going to go through during this time. It is facing that fear, facing that nightmare, and still finding that you're prosperous, you're bountiful, and this opens up a whole new world for you. Now we have the Emperor. You are crowned with the Emperor in your heart. You are rooted with the Queen of Pentacles. There's prosperity, there's bounty, there's abundance here. There's the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine. And you have yourself here claiming the throne, claiming what you want, claiming what you desire, knowing where you stand, and saying, this is me. Now, you might not be the best person in the whole entire world. Nobody is. But this is saying, nobody gets to rule over my life. Nobody gets to take control over my heart. And as you do this, you're realizing what battles you will fight and what battles you have to let go. This is a hard one because we tend to think, well, if I know that I am right, or if I think that I am right, and I am passionate and I am determined, I will conquer anything. I will tumble the towers. I will achieve everything. And I can fight every battle. But here's the thing. If you're busy, always fighting, you tire yourself out quicker, most definitely. But then when the big attack comes, when the person that you really need to fight against, when the situation comes where you need all that strength comes forward, you're already going to be exhausted. So you're not going to be able to pay attention to what you need to pay attention to. The Seven of Wands is saying be very mindful of when you fight and when you step away. Because it's actually going to be better for you more often than not to step away and say, it's not worth my time. And you're going to find that with sitting there and saying, not worth my time, not worth my energy, not going to change you, get that, don't like it, fine. But it saves you the energy and it opens up the world to you. Because it's no longer thinking everything has to be perfect. It's knowing things will not be perfect. Things will be overwhelming. People will disappoint. But I'm opening up my world to me, my passion, my fire, my brilliance. And you're going to find that the world doesn't feel so scary, so overwhelming, that it becomes more of your truth. It's like, this is where I need to stand. This is who I am. And this is who I will always be. And so when you're looking at the world within your heart, there have been times where it feels overwhelming, where it feels overwhelming to say, I'm going to take that step. You look at the world, it feels vast, it feels terrifying. And you might be saying, okay, Dane, but this time in the world, we can't move as freely as we would want to and everything like that. And it's upsetting. It is. But you're going to see here that as you're looking at things and as you're claiming this power, you start to see the world in your eyes. You start to see the world through, and you always see the world in your eyes. I do know this. But it's like through the lens of what you can do instead of what you can't do. Through the lens of what do I need to try? What do I need to go after to embrace the life that I want, the life that I need, the soul that I have, to let that soul live and move forward. Where are my strengths? And it's going to lead you to looking at the world. And instead of saying, oh, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. It's like, yeah, but I can do this. And I am doing that. And this is something that I'm good at. And there's a leap of faith here that opens up the world to you. And it brings you to a place of prosperity. It's because you're conserving your energy. You're claiming your throne. You're seeing your power. And if you're thinking, oh, well, I don't know what I'm good at. And I don't have any strengths or things like that. And I used to tell myself that all the time. It can be that you need to talk to somebody professionally, kind of get into a counseling or a life coach or somebody like that. It can also be that you need to start journaling. If you learn through writing things out, journal. But it can also be that you start talking to yourself. You start talking to your angels, your spirit guides, and saying, why is it that I see everybody else's strength, but I never see my own? Because as the world opens to you, you walk into prosperity. You walk into wealth. And you embrace this wealth. You know this wealth. This wealth guides you more than anything else. Now, it can be money or something you value as much as money. It's also going to feel like you're inheriting something. It's like you're inheriting this energy of power, of change, of prosperity, of bounty, of beauty. And I do see a strong ancestral energy around you. Now, you might not know these ancestors that are around you, but you can also find that they come to you in your dreams, like guiding you forward. You can find that you're waking up kind of thinking of your grandma or your great-great aunt or, your grandpa or, whomever, or a friend that you had, a past lover that you had that has passed away. And you're looking at things and you're like, wow, they're guiding me. They're there with me. And that's going to be a form of profound wealth, a profound bounty. And it's going to start opening up the doors for you. It's going to start saying, yeah, why not? Why not give it a shot? Why not go after it? Why not look at things differently? And it leads you then to the chaos of the world. And you're going to be very easily swayed by it. So this is something to be mindful of. You're going to be swayed by the chaos of the world, even though your heart is embracing your emperor status. Like, nobody can sway me. I got this. But everybody comes in, everybody wants, everybody, questions, everybody needs. And you're going to think, oh, well, I can just put me on hold for a minute. And you will. You will put yourself on hold at times. And sometimes you need to. You absolutely do. When your kids are sitting there and demanding everything, when work is needing your attention, when, everybody wants a piece of you, your partner is saying this or that, or you're just spread too thin. Okay? Everybody else does get a part of you at one time or another. And we do forget about ourselves. But this is the chaos that comes from never looking at yourself, never seeing what it is that you truly want, never understanding who it is that you truly are, and getting caught up in everybody else. And it doesn't mean that so I did say, Spirit did have me say, never understanding. But it's like never seeing the worth of you. And it is moments of seeing the worth of you. It's like, oh, I see that I'm worth something, but you don't feel it in the marrow of your bones, in the beating of your heart. This is a power that needs to beat within you, because your doubts and your fears will lead you off path. Other people's, demands will lead you off path if you don't start getting in alignment with yourself and saying, I am divinity incarnate, which sounds maybe bad to say, but you're, in all religions, we are pretty much made from the image of a divine force and in a likeness of that divine force. Why not let that divine force shine within us? Sit there and take the ego out of it, which is going to be the hardest part about this time, and also kind of the hardest part about life, and say, I don't care what you think. I don't care how many people you think I'm supposed to be, how much you think I'm supposed to do. This is me. This is who I am. And I'm okay. And I'm stronger than I realized. And it leads you to prosperity. It leads you to moving forward slowly, steadily, determinedly in your love, in your knowledge, in your truth, in your heart. It leads you to being a defender of your heart. Now, this can also be a time where you have to be very mindful of people who yell too much, like who kind of scare you into submission, like you will do what I say because I said so, and just kind of go off like that, and you think, oh wow, I better do what they want because it's just going to be so much easier. And they can erode your personal power that way. And also people who are emotionally manipulative, who sit there and say, well, you should do this and you should do that, and it would make me so happy if you did. And not people who are trying to help you and saying this, but people who are trying to use your goodwill and your well-intentioned self, Sagittarius, to get what they want out of life. So here, with the Knight of Cups, moving forward in your heart's truth, moving forward in your passion, moving forward in your ideas and ideals, that is going to be so terribly important for you. And not letting other people manipulate that situation. It then brings you to the Eight of Cups. You're walking away from something you once thought you would love. You're like, I'm done. I need to move forward. I'm ascending. I'm raising my energy vibration. I thought I was happy being here, and now you're going to be like, nope, I have to move forward. And this comes as you see what it is that your soul really longs for, as you see the doors of this world starting to open to you, and you start to see your place you're figuring things out, and it doesn't matter your age. I know people always say, well, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too, I'm not educated enough, I'm too educated for this, I can't do this, I can't do that. We always have something, and we think, I can't. Like, what if people laugh? Like, what if people think I'm absolutely ridiculous? What if they do? What if you start living your dream and they're still on the drudgery path of this is what I have to do, this is what I have to do, this is what I have to do, but you start excelling because you're doing what embraces your soul. And it doesn't mean like, quit your job, join the circus or anything like that. It means that you can have a job that you sit there and you think, I'm not going to be here forever. Have you ever had that idea with your jobs where you're there and you're like, I know I'm going to leave. Or you get to a point and it's like, I know it's time to leave. But I'm going to do the best job that I can. I'm going to set myself up so that when I leave, I'm better for it. And this is a time where you start to kind of set up the dominoes. You start to kind of see what it is that you desire, where it is that you need to be, what it is that you need to do for you. And you start to embrace a change. Now, this could be what you thought you would love. It can be anything. This could be a relationship. This could be, friends. This could be career paths. This could be, ideologies. And you're starting to say, it's not for me. Like, this isn't me. I get to embrace me now. I get to ascend to my truth. And that opens up you walking into the sun, the happiest card in the whole entire deck. Happiness, joy, prosperity, success, bounty, beauty, abundance. You walk into it. And it claims you and you claim it. Will people take you by eyes? Absolutely. You're crowned with people trying to knock you off your game. You're rooted with your light shining so brightly that it blinds all that look at you. And so here, embrace your power. Take this, Leo moon right here. You have the lion right here, and make it into this beautiful, the lion with the sun, and Leo is ruled by the sun. You make it into this fiery passion, this powerful truth, and you roar with success. Nobody has to hear you. You also mourn what has happened in your life that seems to be out of your control at times, or at times in your life seem to be out of your control. You release so much of what has held you back, and you embrace so much of what you need. This then leads you to the blessings of the moon. So let's see what the moon has to say. How will Sagittarius be affected by the January 2021 full moon? How will Sagittarius be affected by the January 2021 full moon? How will Sagittarius be affected by January 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Ooh, fantastic. How will Sagittarius be affected by the January 2021 full moon? How will Sagittarius be affected by the January 2021 full moon? How will Sagittarius be affected by the January 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Ooh, goodness. This one, not these. Okay. So we have fear turned upside down, which is exactly how we want to see fear. We have focus and we have trust. We have faith. I love that. Prosperity lies ahead. The energy gains momentum. Hold your vision. Look at the big picture. Didn't Spirit have me say before that for you to look at the big picture is where your prosperity lies? And so you're taking aim, you're looking at the big picture. This is the full moon in Sagittarius. That's awesome. Have faith in your dreams. So that's awesome. So we see here, fear. Fear with everything that you're holding. It's kind of like, if I let go, everything will fall apart. No, it won't. No, it won't. You might have fear, but it won't be a disaster if you start to say, I need to stop holding on to everything. I can't take on everything myself. And if you start embracing healing, if you start to embrace your love, the fear, it doesn't fall away, because we're always afraid of things, because we have this fight or flight built into us. It's what kept us alive as, as human beings evolved and as we became to where we are today. And the thing is that we were hunter-gatherers way longer than we were these quote-unquote civilized people that we are now. So here, when we have fear, our body has a response to it. I'm going to run away from it, okay, or I'm going to fight it. And sometimes we fight it, but we're fighting something abstract. We're fighting the fear that we have about, losing a job, or, not being the best that we can be, or, not getting to where we want to be in life, or not being the best parent, or not being the best this or that. They're not necessarily things that you can fight, or we want to away from it. And we're like, I'd rather just disconnect. I can't do this anymore. So here, when we have fear, it's our body telling us, this is causing you stress. This is how my, evolving brain, or my brain knows how to deal with it. How do I deal with it in this world now? How do I deal with it now? Not as a, hunter-gatherer person, but as a person living in my world. What is it that I need? What can I bring to the table? It brings you then into focus. Focus on what you dream, focus on what you desire, focus on where it is that you want to be, the transformation, the evolution of self, which brings you to your truth. As you nurture your truth, you look at your fears and you say, you don't get to be my truth anymore. You don't get to be the ones that hold me back anymore. It brings you to having faith within yourself. Bounty, understanding, as you claim your throne, as you choose your battles, having faith, and also knowing that you are being guided, you are being divinely guided by a profound and powerful truth. Prosperity lies ahead with the new moon in Taurus. It says, prosperity lies ahead as the world opens to you, as you open to the world, as you sit there and you're like, oh, I can do that. I can do that. Like, I can move forward that way. Like, why was I holding myself back before? The energy gains momentum of success, of focus, of idealism, of desire, as you embrace prosperity. It then leads you to holding to your vision as everybody comes at you, as you're pulled 18 million different ways. You can't clone yourself. So hold to your vision of what it is that you want, not to what everybody else is demanding. And fight for your truth, fight for your heart. Say, heart, where is it that you need to be? Because emotionally, like if we embrace only our emotions, we can become chaotic. If we embrace only our knowledge, we can become rigid. So having that middle ground, saying, I acknowledge that me as an individual is an emotional being. Sometimes my reactions to things will not be logical. So I am an emotional being. But if I have that conversation between my emotions and giving honor to what I feel, And then also honor to what I know and seeing if they can come together. This is what drives you so hard and so forcefully to holding to the vision of what you want in your life, but also changing that vision when you see, okay, well, this might not work, and maybe I need to tweak this just a little bit this way to open up the door. And then it brings you to looking at the bigger picture, walking away from what isn't right, and seeing the bigger picture of where you want to be. Sagittarius, you're a big picture seer. You need to see kind of the end results, visualize it in your head, see, and then kind of break it down, look at the steps, and say, can I start this now? Do I want to start this now? Can I put this on my shoulders? Do I know what it is that I desire? Do I know what it is that I'm looking for? And then have faith in your dreams. Have faith in your dreams because you're rooted here in happiness and joy and contentment and success. It might not be everything that you dreamt it would be. We tend to dream things in a very certain way. Divinity can bring you what your heart longs for, what your soul dreams of, in a way that you never expected. So be open to the unexpected. Your subconscious chakra message is rebirth. This is the Earth Star chakra, 6 inches, located 6 inches below your feet. You are being reborn. You are being transformed. And you're going to find that this time has you looking at things very differently than the way you had before. It then brings you to your subconscious moon message, which is blossoming. You're blossoming into yourself. You're kind of coming into your own ideas, your own ideals. You're finding that song. You're finding that rhythm. And it then moves you to the full moon in Pisces, which says balance the spiritual and the practical. Have both sides of your life and yourself and your soul. Know that they are equally as important, and balancing the truth of them, balancing the power of them is going to be very, very good for you. And then finally, your subconscious tarot message is the 6 of Cups. Something from your past is coming forward to make you doubt yourself, to make you want to kind of go back to past times, or to make you think, I can never break this cycle. Subconsciously, this is something, and it came up very prominently in your cards, this is something that you're going to be battling with. But this is something where you need to know your truth, know your passion, know your power, and say, I will not be held by the past anymore. I'm breaking these chains. I'm not willing to live in the sorrows of the shouldas, the couldas, and the wouldas. Too many people do, and it steals away their whole entire lives. All right, Sagittarius, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Now let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as you release fear for focus, and as you trust in the divine wisdom that is guiding you forward and the power that lives inside of you. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Sagittarius, and may you have a blessed moon.